Remember the games of November, their gameplay, platforms and plot.
What?
I see no reason why the games of November should ever be forgot.
Are you doing a gunpowder plot thing?
Quite, yes, Andy.
That's fair. We're all King James I stands here.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what King James would be doing if he was alive today?
Torturing Robert Catesby.
Yes, and playing the following games this November. It's been a long wait, but PC players will finally get their hands on Red Dead Redemption 2, putting them into the boots of Vandalind gang member Arthur Morgan in an enhanced version of the game. To quote Rockstar, expect increased draw distances, improved shadows and lighting, new grass and fur textures, and much more, complemented by a host of exciting new content additions for the game's story mode. What does that mean, new content additions to the story mode? Does it mean even more dinosaur bones to find?
Yeah, I think it's not anything like good.
Okay,
cool. I think it's like, here's a side mission.
Oh, okay.
Collect 10 belt buckles.
Little bits and bobs.
In the woods.
Find some little bits and bobs.
Go off into the woods.
Go on in the woods. With
Well, I guess I'm heading into the woods.
Go on in with your fur textures. Go on into the woods.
I guess I found these belt buckles. My God, the fur on this bear pelt is so high resolution. Now, Dutch.
No, Dutch.
Dutch, I must.
Women of the children.
I have to insist, Dutch. You get.
Oh! We can't do this. We can't do this.
You insist.
If you're on PC, none of this will make sense to you. But think soon it will, because you'll be able to play Red Dead Redemption 2.
4K, 60 frames a second, all your usual treats. Would you play it again on PC, or would you just keep going on towards your 100% completion on
I think
console?
I'd play it again. I'd quite like to play through the story again.
Knowing how it ends, I think it'd be fun to play through again. It's taken quite a long time to make it to PC, but I think that would be a great place to play it, especially if the game is sort of open to being modded. That's the true goal, surely.
Can't wait for the modding, can't wait for the fighter jets to appear.
Oh yeah. Finally, a Thomas the Tank Engine will be put in it.
Finally, Macho Man Randy Savage will take his rightful place in the Vandalind gang.
After what seems like eons, Star Wars is finally getting a dedicated single-player game in the form of Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Taking place after Episode 3, you'll play as Padawan Cal Kestis to avoid being found by the Empire after the execution of Order 66. So Star Wars Battlefront 2 did have a single-player campaign that I personally think was very fun. Very, very good. Iden Versio. Yeah, it was cool, but it was very much second fiddle to what turned out to be a fairly controversial multiplayer mode.
Not a Jedi though, were you?
No, you weren't a Jedi.
You couldn't pull people across the room by their throats and then lift them up and then impale them with a saber and then turn them upside down and then throw them into their friend and then pick both of them up and then throw them into another thing and then pull them back again and then set them on fire and then throw them into a pit, and just as they think they're about to die from the pit, you pull them back up out of the pit and you go, ha 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 ha! I'm a Jedi. You played The Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
The best bit in The Force
Classic
Unleashed
Jedi move
would be when
Obi-Wan does all that.
Yeah, you pick someone up and they'd be like, oh, and their friend would go and try and help them. And they'd be like,
You'd hold them just high enough that
their friend would like grab their hand and then you'd pull them up as well, and then they'd be holding hands and be like, oh, or you just drop them and then you catch them just at the end and you're like, whoa, just kidding.
I think this looks pretty good.
I'm on board. I'm just hoping for it's a bit like Force Unleashed, because I really like Force Unleashed. And you're going around, you're a Jedi, you got a lightsaber, you got a little droid mate.
Yeah, the droid looks really cute. And it'll be interesting to see how quickly or not we immediately warm to the main character, because I think in a story-based game like this, that's going to be the main thing.
Well, he's kind of a slightly uncertain Jedi. He's quite young, quite Padawanish.
I don't think you're allowed to be an uncertain Jedi. I thought the whole point was like, oh, what? Doubt? Can't deal with that.
Dark side immediately. Clouded your mind.
Yeah.
But it's by Respawn. You know, they made Titanfall 2.
They made Titanfall 2, yeah. I think hoping for wall running and some, like that game just feels good to play. Like that has that.
You could wall run towards someone and then like lift them up and then throw them around and then jump them into the air and then throw them into a cooling duct and then like smash the cooling duct around them so they're in like a metal coffin and then superheat
to watch.
Yeah. Exactly. Force Unleashed stuff.
Jedi stuff.
Good Jedi.
I think Luke Skywalker does that in one of the novels.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. Cameron Monaghan is the name of the guy who plays the main dude. He was the Joker in the Gotham TV series.
I think you'll find there are actually 3 Jokers in the Gotham TV series.
Let's move on. It's time to find out what the hell anything in these trailers means, as Death Stranding finally comes to PlayStation 4 this November. You'll be walking around as Norman Reedus-faced Sam, trying to reconnect the United Cities of America, all while baddies and spooky hand monsters are trying to get you. With unique ways to traverse the world, such as super extendable ladders and the need to empty your bladder, it's most definitely going to feel like a Kojima title. I don't think this will make any more sense when we play it than it has up to now. I think maybe we've been labouring under this false idea that it's all going to swim into focus.
Yeah.
I'm not sure it will.
I mean, everything that Kojima's shown so far, he's been like, now, here is an hour-long deep dive on the urination system
Yes.
in Death Stranding.
Yeah.
Now, I want to allay your fears. Don't worry.
Don't worry.
You won't be able to see Norman Reedus' penis.
Yes.
You can rotate that camera all you want,
Yeah.
and I will for the next 25 minutes, and there will be no
Yeah.
Reedus wang.
So stop panicking about that.
And people are like,
And start
but what
cooperatively urinating
But
on
what do you
mushrooms.
do in the game,
Urinate
Hideo?
on the mushroom.
And he's like, oh, that's all the time we have.
That's
today.
unfortunately,
I'm afraid-
we've got no more
I'm
time.
afraid there's simply no more time. It's interesting that he seems extremely confident about how great this is going to be. So
Yes, he does.
I'm going to an event next week. It's a BAFTA lecture with Hideo Kojima and Nicholas Winding Refn.
Yeah.
And it's called Death Stranding, Bridging the Gap Between Games and Movies.
Okay.
And I'm like, let's wait until the game's out before we decide that that's what
Yeah,
it does.
Maybe we should just sort of check if
If it does that.
if the game is good
Or
and
if
bridges the gap, or if it really is just a lot of cooperative urination.
Yeah, if it just bridges the gap between Norman Reedus' wang and a mushroom with
There's-
urine.
There's quite a lot of stuff in based on what we've seen so far that definitely just kind of gives the vibe that the game has basically been made by little boys who are like fascinated by urinating on a mushroom and completely baffled by the process of birth and pregnancy.
Don't understand how any of that
So
works.
like, what?
Oh, the baby came out of
What?
her tummy.
A baby?
You have to take a diamond, put it
Yeah.
under a leaf, and a cabbage
yeah,
patch.
yeah, and the
then-
stalk will bring you a little Norman Reedus. We've gone slightly off topic. I would, but honestly, there's nothing else to say because like
Yeah.
what
I mean,
what
you're
can
some
we
kind
say
of
about this?
delivery man, you have an extendable ladder. We
I-
know nothing. We'll find out.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed.
A brand new Pokémon game comes to the Nintendo Switch as the 8th generation of Pokémon arrive in the British-inspired Galar region. Choose from Sword or Shield as you find Pokémon unique to each game and are encouraged yet again to trade with your friends to catch 'em all. I know Ellen is very excited about the Candy Floss Ponyta.
Oh, what, like with a mane
Yeah,
made of
with a
candy
mane
floss?
made of candy
That
floss,
wouldn't hold
yeah.
up to a rain shower.
It wouldn't, no.
Got
And,
immediately.
you know, think of like a Charmander which dies if its little tail fire goes out.
Yeah.
That's canon.
Right, so how is this different to all other Pokemon games then? Or is it just not? It's the same. I guess it's the same. It's the same. Only-
It is, yeah.
You can see the Pokemon.
Yeah, you can see the
like
Pokemon in all the other
Let's
games.
Go.
Yeah.
No, but when you're wandering around, and there's also big Pokemon.
Gigantamax Pokemons. Here are the starting Pokemon options,
let
Andy.
me
What are you
see.
thinking? Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble.
So we've got some kind of leaf chimp,
Yep,
a
Fiery
fire
rabbit.
bunny.
yep. And a wet tadpole.
Oh god, well not that.
What?
Bunny.
I'm immediately drawn to Sobble, I have to say.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you chose that stupid clown seal.
Poplio is not a stupid clown seal.
I mean,
It ultimately has the best stats and is a sad little clown.
I quite like Grookey.
Grookey.
I tend to lean towards the grass type.
Grass types.
Starters.
Yeah.
I like grass type.
Yeah. Whereas I tend to lean towards the one that looks the saddest, the most pathetic. And this one's called Sobble.
Yeah, he's sobbing all
Yeah,
the time.
sobbing.
And wobbling.
Sobbing and wobbling. Got to be sobbling.
Got to be sobbling. And then Ellen's got Scorbunny.
And Ellen's got Scorbunny, so there we go.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't think it is going to be very different from other Pokemon games. The setting will be interesting, I think, that kind of British-inspired world. Personally, for a while, I felt like I am kind of ready for Pokemon to be a different kind of game. I don't know. My biggest problem with Sun and Moon, to be honest, was I thought that the localization, just like the text stuff, was a little bland, perhaps. It could use a little bit more of the sort of humour that you get in like Luigi's Mansion or
the Ace Attorney team on it.
the Ace Attorney. Yeah, exactly. That sort of thing. So it feels a little light. Everyone you talk to is just like, have you tried giving your Pokemon a candy?
Yeah.
Hey, let's battle. You know, I feel like it's missing a little bit of personality. But
Agreed.
yeah,
Maybe
so
because it's set in Britain, it'll be full of.
maybe everyone will be
Britishisms.
like, oh,
They'll
Lorks.
be like, sling your rook, mate.
Sing your rook. Have a butcher's at me Pokemon. Go
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Yeah.
Have a I said have a
I said
butcher's at me Pokemon.
Google has decided to join its fellow tech giants by jumping into the games industry. However, instead of making a console, it's just made the controller and turned to streaming, setting up servers and eliminating the need for players to download the games they play. With the ability to use Google Stadia across multiple screens and the option of paying for a subscription or just for single games, this seems like an intriguing move for the search engine king. So, Stadia.
Yes.
We've more or less got our head around the general principle, which is that all of the computing stuff happens somewhere else, and you basically just get the sort of the shiny maximum graphics thing beamed down your internet. We've played it a little bit, but
How was the latency? That's the main concern, right?
when I played it, it was not bad, but it was a bit noticeable. And personally, I don't find personally, it doesn't bother me when graphics aren't as superb as they could theoretically be.
Yeah.
But that sort of latency, I don't know, I think it could pull you out the game. If they manage to eliminate that, then, I mean, that seems absolutely amazing. And then it's just a simple case of getting every third party on board, and then, then we'll see. Then we'll be cooking, my friend.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I actually think it's got quite a long way to go, but, I mean, it's so... The promise is so pie in the sky. The idea that you could be like watching someone play a game on YouTube and like take their save state and immediately begin it in your own browser.
That's the thing that excites me the most. If that's really a thing that'll work, then that's amazing.
Yeah.
Think of the possibilities.
I know.
It would be great. We could play a game and then screw it up and be like, you think you could unscrew this? Have a go.
Yeah, here we go. Like,
You guys could like
send out the save state.
Mike could mic up a Hitman game, and then you could see if you can escape the level.
See if you can unmic it. Once mic'd, things can rarely be unmiked, is my experience.
It's true.
But this is why, with the power of the internet, potentially. Yeah.
Potentially an unmiking could occur.
So the games it's going to be launching with are mostly games that are already out. I think that is if the latency is working and it's kind of okay and it's fun and engaging to play, that's definitely the next step, isn't it? It's like, how do you get publishers who aren't Ubisoft? And really, there's no excuse because Google has infinite money. So
basically, yeah.
Yeah, if they want to do this, then I feel like they could buy and sell everyone involved.
Yeah. Half-Life 3, Google
Stadia exclusive. Yeah.
Here's just dump truck of money, make it happen.
Yeah. So interesting times.
Yeah.
Over 18 years since the release of Shenmue 2, Shenmue 3 is coming to PlayStation 4 and PC. With tons of mini-games and a bunch of kung fu, you'll be sent to meet a lot of interesting characters along the way. Okay, Andy, where do we stand on Shenmue 3?
Oh man, Shenmue is so boring.
Shenmue 1 and 2 are famously boring games, but people absolutely adore them.
That's because they played them when they first came out, when games were boring. Sorry to break it to you. If you play those old games now, they're boring.
I think they all are.
But Shenmue did a bunch of like stuff first.
Right.
So when you could just like walk around this open world and you could go in places and play mini games and stuff, you're like, whoa, this game is amazing.
But
thinking about it.
But does it not have that sort of woozy, laid-back atmosphere thing? Not reminiscent of a cult classic like Twin Peaks or some such?
Sort of, but I'm not sure if it's... I mean, it's very much got the performances in the characters. The main character, Rio, is the dullest man in video game history.
Yeah.
He's like, hello.
Hello. I'm trying to find some sailors.
I'm looking for a man. He killed my father.
I'm very upset about it.
I need to learn about the voodoo.
Leo.
This is nothing. I'll be fine.
Come on.
Weirdly though,
Will it fit into today's modern gaming landscape where you can wall run and do a backflip?
No, but I kind of think that might be a reason why it could succeed. I would love it if it just stuck to the formula, sticks to the Shenmue 3 formula of basically being boring and weird.
Walk in real time for an hour across the
We've got
countryside.
games where you can backflip. Make a game where it's boring and weird, I say. This is the only... There can't be another situation where a game has been anticipated for this many years. It's such a high-profile reinvigoration of the series, and yet no one is expecting it to actually really be very good or interesting.
You know what is...
And they kind of would prefer it if it wasn't.
Okay, the game that is a good and exciting version of Shenmue is the Yakuza series, and they have tons of Yakuza games, and they're all good and exciting and fun and have cool stories.
But isn't there quite a lot of fighting though?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice if there was less fighting?
There's a lot of fighting in Shenmue. You're always fighting people.
Yeah, not always. Sometimes you're just carrying books and such.
I mean, there is that.
Yeah.
But there's bits in Yakuza where you have to go to a job interview and...
Yeah, that's true. That is fair. That is there. There's There's a lot of similarity there.
I'm saying, do we really need Shenmue now that we have Yakuza?
I mean, do we really need video games?
Oh my god.
It's not only Sonic who's got to go fast, as Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 comes to the Nintendo Switch. With a whole gang of Nintendo and Sega characters up for grabs, you can try your hand at a whole bunch of events, new and old. We've played this.
We sure have.
Yeah.
We played rock climbing. We played swimming.
I think we played all.
Rugby sevens.
Yeah.
Oh, the equestrianism.
Skateboarding.
Skateboarding.
Yeah.
That was good.
All of the events are quite simple to grasp, I think. Like the controls aren't very complicated for any of them.
Much like the rubberized grip on a javelin. It's
Yes.
easy to grasp.
It's easy to grasp and easy to throw in frustration.
At the wall.
Yeah.
When you lose.
When somehow
Yeah.
you, Sonic, lose a running race to Bowser. I don't think that this is going to be a spectacularly like brilliant transformative work of like video game genius or anything, but I actually did have a lot of fun playing it, I have to say. I think because it's so simple and easy to pick up, it could be a big hit at Christmas.
Yeah.
And I think if you are into like if you really know your video games, there is something inherently hilarious about the Mario characters and the Sonic characters kind of coexisting.
Yes.
Especially the way that obviously there's a roster of Nintendo characters, all of whom you can name and know all about, and then there's an equivalent number
variety.
of Sonic characters, and you're like,
Yeah.
what is that?
What I really like is seeing all the popular Nintendo characters dressed up in their like sport appropriate
Oh
sportswear.
yes, yeah.
Especially the equestrianism, they're wearing these very smart red jackets and the white ties and the little horse riding hats. and
Yeah,
everything.
really strong looks.
Yeah, it's good.
There's some nice attention to detail there, and then of course there are some obvious frustrations. Like we did a rock climbing, wall climbing event thing, and I was Donkey Kong, and he was absolutely terrible. And he's got like a little belt with a bag of chalk on it, and it's like, Donkey Kong, don't need a little bag of chalk.
You're an ape.
You're an ape. Just scamper up quickly using your ape arms.
Your powerful forelimbs.
But Donkey Kong's like looking at the next little nubbin. He's like, easy, easy.
There's the retro thing in there as well, which is really nice.
That is really nice. Yeah,
Using the old sprites.
yeah, sprites that kind of have that sort of vintage feel. Yeah, fun stuff. So Andy, those were some of the November games.
Yeah.
If you could play but one, why would it be Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games? Tokyo
Probably
2020?
because does Wario have nipples? Did we confirm that?
Yeah, we confirmed it. He does.
Confirmed it.
He
Good.
does. There was some debate at first when the trailers first
I was going
went
to
out.
refuse it to play it if he didn't.
Well, I don't know what was going on with that. I don't know if they added in the nipples because of the outcry, or maybe like the trailers are just a bit low res.
Yeah.
Hard to tell, but you know, I know what I saw.
I'll probably get on Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh yeah.
Seems like a good time.
Yeah.
You know, when you lift them and you crush and you spin and you throw and you...
Well, I'll go for Death Stranding.
Really? Not Shenmue 3? You don't want to play Lucky Hit because you've got no money and you can't afford to go anywhere or sleep anywhere?
No, I don't want to play Shenmue 3. I only want to defend it to the hilt.
Okay. So you're going to play Death
For no
Stranding?
reason. Yeah, I'll play Death Stranding and
Wii on a mushroom.
just
Bridging the gap between films and games.
and just hope that there's methods to the madness.
I think you can say that it'll definitely be original. You won't play another game like it this year. So,
Which could also be good.
yeah, exactly. God bless you, Kojima.
Anyway, thanks folks for watching. If there are any games coming out in November that we missed, then let us know what they are in the comments down below to help your fellow internet travellers. And if you enjoyed this, then why not subscribe and ring that bell, and we will see you next time.
Bye.